Welcome to our weekly live broadcast with writers from the Denton Record-Chronicle, powered in part by the Denton Record-Chronicle and Classic of Denton. Good afternoon, Denton. Thank you all very much for tuning in with us. Every Monday we get the opportunity to sit down with the oracles of information themselves, the folks from the Denton Record-Chronicle. We are either talking Denton events, Denton sports, or Denton business. Today we are shedding a little light on Denton business with the one, the only Miss Jenna Duncan.
Thanks. Hey, yes. So, to start today, I want to talk about the business of bikes.
Okay.
It's super hot. I can't imagine being on a bike for too long right now with the heat, but it's cooling down, so I can see it, moving forward this week. So I wanted to start with the story that I just did it was in the Sunday paper, but it's called Urban Tribe Cargo Bicycles.
Okay.
So I don't know if you saw this. So this local resident, his name is Aaron Powell. He's always been a really avid biker, and him and his wife, and at the time their 2-year-old daughter, Catherine, went over to Denmark and Sweden for vacation last summer. And they, being bikers, they're like, hey, we know it's really bike friendly. Let's figure out if we can do this vacation without renting a car and just bike everywhere. And they said it was 1,000 times easier than they initially thought it could be. And then what they noticed was when they were taking their daughter to parks and other things that were family oriented, there were all these cargo bikes. So these bikes that had these built-in attachments to carry kids instead of in the US how it will be, the baby seat on the back of the bike, or almost the tent looking thing that kids can be pulled in behind the bike. And so he was like, this looks so much cooler, so much safer. And so when they got back, they were like, we want one. So they started scouring online, and they could not find any that were being sold from US companies or that would ship here. And they were like, well, this is weird. And so they started looking into it, and it was they could get a custom bike shop to build it for them, and it would be $5,000.
Whoa.
And they were like, maybe there's a market here. And so Aaron, he had just left a teaching job, and he was like, this is totally what I'm going to do next. So he spent the past 8 months designing this bike, and then finding a manufacturer to produce it, finding a warehouse space here in Denton, and a couple of weeks ago, he just launched the pre-order of the first round of Urban Tribe bikes.
Wow.
So,
super cool.
Yeah, so you sit on it, and it's the seat over a traditional wheel, and then it opens up to a cargo compartment. So it's kind of oblong, it's wooden, and it has 2 little benches in there. So it can fit 4 kids up to 220 pounds, or what he did was he took out one of the benches because now they have an infant. And so he took out one of the benches so he can put the car seat right into the cargo bike.
That's cool.
And then Catherine, the toddler, has her own little bench and a seat in there. And so he has the only prototype right now, but he's getting these all made to order, and they ship to the Denton warehouse in 2 weeks.
Wow.
And then they go out for orders across the country. And so I was issuing it online as a challenge to Dentonites because he said he's had customers in Hawaii and Minnesota and Ohio and California, but no one in Denton has bought one of his bikes.
Huh.
So that's a challenge. So he has 2 options right now. So they're all kind of that tricycle style where it's 2 wheels under that front cargo portion and one underneath the driver. One is just a manual normal bike. The other one has electric assist, so it has a motor in it for if you're going uphill and, you have all 4 of the kids in there and maybe some groceries. You can kind of hit a button and get some help instead of having to, pedal all the way up Hickory with, 4 kids and groceries to make it more easy. And so the bikes, he's selling them at $19.95 for one of the standard, and then $26.60, so $2,660, not $26.
Right. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, for one of these.
What a deal.
Yes, so still way under what he initially was quoted at for getting it built on his own. So that's really cool that that's going to be a Denton-based company that already in its first run of a product is nationwide.
Yeah.
So
super cool.
That's super cool if you're not traveling with all of your kiddos in tow. I don't know if you've noticed, they've been out for a while, but V-Bikes. They're the little yellow bikes around downtown. So V-Bikes is another startup. It's not out of Denton, but we were one of the first locations to get them. And so if you don't have a bike and you see all of our nice new bike lanes, or you're just like trying to get from the square to Fry Street and you don't want to go find your car and drive, you unlock the bike from an app. And so what's different about it from other kind of bike share, bike rental programs is you can leave this bike anywhere instead of having to put it at like a specific docking station like you would see in some other cities like Chicago and Boston, where you have to park it at another one of these stations.
Right.
You can park it wherever. So you just download the app on your phone. You pay down a $99 deposit for if something happens to the bike, and then you pay $1 an hour. And then you can leave that deposit in your account for forever, or take it back at the end of your ride and then just reload next time you ride. But you can pull it up on your phone, and it looks like Google Maps, and it will show you like the location, like all of the different spots that there are bikes for rental that you can do. And so it's nice because you can just leave it right outside your destination.
Yeah. Super cool. You just walk away and it just hangs there. Super cool.
As long as it's at a bike rack, like, you're good. So I'm seeing more of those around town, and they're planning to more aggressively come out here, have some more bikes, especially once the school year gets started, putting them out around University of North Texas and Texas Women's University to kind of get more of that student population out and around town. So that's really cool for bikes. So that's my bike news, unless you have any other bike news.
You're the oracle of information. I don't know any more about bike news, but...
Okay, then the other thing, we have a couple of updates for downtown, which I know like everybody loves knowing exactly what's going on and where, because everybody feels like this is their square.
Yeah.
So Serendipity on the Square is moving.
No.
They're still in walking distance of the square, but
that's okay. All right.
So have you been to the Serendipity house that's down on Elm?
I've heard all about it. I've seen a lot of people there. I have personally never gone.
Okay, me neither, because it's more for like the studio type thing or the workshops that they do. So everything's going to stay the same. They're still going to do the workshops on a regular basis where, you know, it's $45. You pick a piece of vintage furniture that Claire has found somewhere, and she provides like the paint and teaches you how to do it, and you bring your bottle of wine and you paint, and you get to bring home like a new accessory or a new dresser or something cool and new for your home. So they're still going to do that, but they're just kind of getting rid of the storefront aspect that they have here. So their last day open is August 5th.
Wow, that's quick.
Yeah, super quick. But I mean, I guess it helps when you already have a location.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
You already have somewhere to move that you're already
quick,
set up in. So I'm curious to see what will go in there, since that's obviously like a square-facing storefront.
Big time.
So that's crazy. And then finally, I think we've talked about this before, but Blue Bag Grocery.
Yes. I don't know if have we talked about it on this show?
Maybe not. So it's a little like bodega style grocery store that's going to be open early morning till late at night at the bottom of the Adagio building on Locust. And they're hoping to open next week.
Wow.
So that's happening quick. So
cool.
Yeah, so that will be like the first grocery store in downtown Denton. I mean, it's not going to have everything, but he's planning on having local produce, like a coffee and oatmeal station and fruit and stuff like that for like a grab and go breakfast, plus essentials for all the downtown residents, you know, paper towels and your rice and beans and, you know, soda and beer and the newspaper.
Yeah,
so,
love it.
Yeah, so that's going to be open starting next week, which will be a first for downtown.
Right.
We did have one for a little bit, but the hours were not traditional convenience store hours. So I think that this might fare differently.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a really cool idea, and I'm personally really excited about it because I live close to downtown. I got the chance to sit down and really talk with him about it and really go through the concept. And what he was talking about is it's not necessarily a grocery store for anybody. It's for the folks that are downtown. A lot of people live downtown or close to downtown, and so it's not big. You're not going to leave with weeks and weeks and weeks worth of groceries, but you may leave with a few days worth of groceries. Well, if it's in walking distance of your home, you just get what you need, walk back and forth, and do that. I just think it's a cool concept.
Yeah,
super
absolutely. Cool. And then it's something, because like when I was living downtown, I would have those moments where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm out of olive oil.
Right.
And then it's like, oh crap, I have to hop in my car, like go over
All the
to
way,
university, come back, and it's like this whole excursion that I just didn't want to do. I just wanted to cook my dinner. And this solves that problem that now downtown residents who have that moment when they start cooking dinner at 6 or 7, they can be like, okay, I can just walk over to Blue Bag, get my olive oil, and come back home, and makes downtown living a little bit easier. So I think that helps with the evolution of the square.
I love that. I think it's super, super cool. It's going to be awesome.
So yeah, so those are my biking and downtown updates.
Love it. For any more information, any and all information, you can always find more and more and more and more and more things at Denton Record-Chronicle, DentonRC.com. We do sit down with the oracles of information themselves every Monday at 2. So make sure you tune back next week. We'll be sitting down with Brett Vito talking sports, specifically UNT sports. So make sure you tune on back for that. Thank you very much for being here, Jenna. We always do appreciate it. And make sure you check out Denton Record-Chronicle, everybody.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out DentonRadio.com to find new Denton artists and where they're playing next. While you're there, check out the rest of Discover Denton to find restaurants, hotels, and tons of great community events.